Hello. Gooner. So, today I ate the Siakam McFlurry. Reason being is because if you're a basketball fan, which I wouldn't expect too much basketball fans to be inside this channel at its early stages, but if you are a basketball fan as well as you watch football as well, you would know that he got traded to the Pacers. So I'm like, got traded to the Pacers. I'm peckish. I'm gonna get a quick snack at McDonald's. Let me eat this McFlurry to see what I'll go on with it, right? I'm not really an ice cream guy because I'm lactose sensitive. So whenever I eat ice cream, it's just whew. But anyways, so I tried it. It was very good. It's a shame he's gone to the Pacers in terms of the McFlurry. So if you have not tried the McFlurry, check it out. You get me? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about transfers, specifically the Blues. What I mean by the Blues, I mean the most corrupt organization and the biggest cheats in the Premier League history. The most corrupt organization being Chelsea, the biggest cheats in Premier League history being Man City, allegedly. And so I will go with the one that is kind of lukewarm first. Why I say lukewarm is because Man City are doing nothing. Are they doing nothing though? Because this is how Man City operate. Me knowing them and watching their rise and watching how they do their transfers, they don't go for big names. And when you don't go for big names, and what I mean by big names is, for example, Victor Osimhen, he's a big name. Haaland at the time is a big name, but the difference between a Haaland and a Victor Osimhen, or a difference between a Haaland and, for example, a Jadon Sancho, is that he has roots in the club based on his father. His father played for Man City, and so this was something that was always going to happen. Jack Grealish, that was also, was Jack Grealish great big name, or was he on the rise? Which is what they do. They pick up people that are diamonds in the rough, players that are on the brink of their rise, and Pep, being a good manager regardless of the organization and the management of City, he doesn't take away how good of a manager Pep is. I guess the Barcelona allegations kind of is a spotty kind of thing for him, but it doesn't really take too much away from him. But regardless of that, that is actually what they're doing in this transfer window. It seems that what they're doing is they're trying to get rid of Calvin Phillips, which might happen with Newcastle. We don't know. Newcastle having a situation where, because of profit and sustainability, they have gone to a point where they're above their expectations in terms of, I would believe, their goals that they wanted to achieve each season. So they went above it last season by reaching the Champions League. And with that being said, their rise has not caught up to them. How quickly they rose has not caught up to them financially yet. And so we don't know if they can get anything done for Calvin Phillips. Juventus were looking at Calvin Phillips. It seems like that has hit the fan. I do believe that West Ham are now looking at Calvin Phillips, and they're trying to offload Calvin Phillips. And what I feel like they're going to do with that is, I think they did actually buy a wonder kid early on in the window. And with that being said, like I said before, that wonder kid will be something like a how do you say his name? Kaiki, Kaiky. He's a centre back, where they've bought someone who is in the radar. He's in the radar. He's not a big name, but he has potential. He has potential to grow, to be a star, to be that star pumpkin, if you may. And so they've picked up, I can't remember, is it Leonardo? I'm not too sure what his name is. They've picked him up. What I'm going to say is that, what I'm going to rate their window and what I predict for them for their window, I'm going to rate their window a D. It does, like, the winter window is a window where you assess your situation, you see what's going wrong and what needs to be improved, and there's not much that Man City has to improve. They have KDB coming back. He's the best midfielder inside the Premier League. It's like, he hasn't played the whole season. He came back against Newcastle and he just totally took over the game. So what do they need to work on? What they need to improve? What they need to do is do what's called what would you call it, an assessment of their club, which is I believe they've already done. Assess your club, see where the players are, see where they rank, get rid of the deadwood, bring in players that would blossom into the team in the next couple of years, and then bring in a couple of players that would inject into that team and fix. You can't fully do that in the winter window, so getting rid of Calvin Phillips will be the first step. Now we're gonna move on to the most corrupt organization, which is Chelsea. Why are they the most corrupt organization? I can do a whole video on that if you would like to see that video in comment section. If I get 5 likes, that's all I'm asking for. If I get 5 likes, I can do a whole video on Chelsea being the most corrupt organization. But what I believe Chelsea are going to do, which is really cool because, you know, both of the Blues are doing the same thing. I believe Chelsea are rallying up funds for the Victor Osimhen. I believe the Victor Osimhen transfer is going to require them to put money up front because he's got a release clause in his new contract. I do believe that Victor Osimhen, like, as much as I am a Nigerian, and I would love him to play for Arsenal, I believe he does fit the Chelsea profile. I believe he's someone that Chelsea will pick up as well. And looking at getting rid of Conor Gallagher, looking at getting rid of Broja, the way Chelsea sell is really well. They sell really well. The fact they were able to get any fee for Loftus-Cheek at all, let alone 30 million, is amazing. The fact they're able to sell off all of their youngsters that, like, let's be real, they're all, like, from their youth academy. I'm trying to think of a big name that's contributed to their team. And I know Reece James is a big name and he's contributed to the team, but he's injured all the time. So from their youth academy, I'm trying to think of a big name that's contributed to their team in terms of actually winning. And when I think about it, they don't have any, like, there's nobody from their youth academy that they did not use for profit. Based on the profit and sustainability rules as well, selling from your academy is probably the best thing to do. And so, like, selling Conor Gallagher is going to work wonders for them. If they sell Broja, works wonders for them. So I do believe financially they are ready for Victor Osimhen inside the summer. I think that the only thing that they need to worry about is the allegations that they have. Will there be a charge before the summer? We don't know. What will the charge do to them for the summer? We don't know. And with their trajectory at the moment, I do believe that Chelsea can get Conference League. Like, Conference League is what they should be aiming for. I believe that their team, because they're all youngsters, right? And here's what happens with a young team. There's no leader there. Thiago Silva doesn't know how to speak English properly. There's no real leader in that team. And what happens with youngsters is you put those guys all together, they're going to figure out who's the top dog. And the top dog is the one that it takes time to figure that out. The top dogs will be the one to start developing a culture, developing a cultivation of how mentally we are on the pitch, being the one to gather us together and figure that out. At the moment, who I think is that person, who I think is their, not captain, their leader on that team, I think Cole Palmer at the moment is putting on his shoulders. They just need not one more piece, but I do believe that they're not going to do anything inside this window. They are linked to Benzema. That could be something that it sounds like a Todd Bowley signing. And what I mean by that is last season, the way that they were moving with just signing high-profile players, it sounds like a Todd Bowley signing. This will be a 6-month loan. It's something that lots of people are saying that because he's on basically, I think is 1.4 million a week, that it won't work. And also because of the fact that he's transfers on a bigger club in Saudi, which will require him to talk to the government and he's on the club in order to make a move work. But I do believe it's something that will make sense for him, because if he pushes for it, you can't hold players like, especially someone like Benzema. You can't hold him hostage. You want that league to develop in a way where people don't look at it badly. So you want someone like Benzema to leave cleanly. And so I do believe that Chelsea, Arsenal also talking to Benzema as well, but Chelsea are like Chelsea are more of a proactive club. So in terms of getting the deal done, Chelsea are more likely to get it done. In terms of which club it makes sense for most, it makes sense for both of us. Both of us lack. Arsenal, we lacked clinical goal scoring and chance creation. Benzema does both. People are telling me that Benzema's not creative. He is very creative as a striker. The creative striker. He's more creative than Ivan Toney. Right? Arguably, he could be better than Ivan Toney. The reason I say could is because he's older. We don't know how much he's regressed. But the Benzema that left Real Madrid is better than Ivan Toney. So, why would he not make sense for Arsenal or Chelsea, who are both looking at Ivan Toney, make sense for a stopgap? So Chelsea are more serious. They do work more proactively. If things aren't going the way they want it to, Todd Bowley he's like, you know what, y'all ain't doing what I want you to do. I'm gonna go in. So the West London Cowboys get that stuff done. That's what they do. West London Cowboys blue. They go in and get that thing done. So if you ask me, Chelsea's window is gonna be a D window as well. This whole window is gonna be garbage. If you ask me, this is just my prediction. We're halfway through the month. Let's see if something else is gonna fly. But this is yeggooner. Peace.